What the Swenson issue represents is really two things. One is how this would profoundly affect the entire city of Stockton. The second is a metaphor for how this city has made decisions time and time again. My district is District 5. It runs from Harding Way to Martin Luther King Boulevard. It really is the heart of the city, the oldest parts of the city. To the west, we have Lewis Park and the port, and to the east, we have Mariposa and Farmington Road. If you remember the first time I ran for office, I was very clear about how I was going to be making decisions.
What am I bringing to council? I can tell you what I'm not going to bring to council. I'm not part of a clique. There's not this interest group or that interest group that I answer to. I'm not bringing any form of ideology to the council, and I don't claim to have all of the answers. What I am bringing to the table as a council member is process. So as a science teacher, there's a process that we follow when we do our experiments. I'm also bringing diligence. My students have homework to do. I have my homework to do as a council member. I'm also bringing fairness. Every kid in school wants to be treated fairly, and you learn that right from the get-go. And the last thing that I'm bringing is inclusiveness. I want to involve everybody in the decisions that we make.
I'm a science teacher, and I said that I was going to honor the process, I was going to be inclusive, and I was going to be fair. This Swenson issue did none of that. I didn't know what was going on with Swenson ahead of time, so I was just as surprised as everyone else when I read that staff report. And when I saw that there was plans for possible development of homes, I was absolutely floored. So this was a study session within which we were given a report from a consultant that clearly had 3 development maps, 3 different scenarios for building residential in an area. This was like putting the cart before the horse. We hadn't even had a discussion yet on it, but this was what our option was. While I was offended by the process, I was way more concerned about the bad decision that was about to be made. Swenson Golf Course is 214 acres of green space in the middle of Stockton, surrounded by residential and schools where our children go. It removes more than 12,500 tons of carbon dioxide from our atmosphere every year. That is 25 million pounds of carbon dioxide. And when I went to the stakeholders, Lincoln Unified hadn't been included in the conversations, the residents hadn't been included in the conversations, and the rest of the city wasn't involved either. Environmentally speaking, if we were to get rid of Swenson, we would have some serious health concerns in the city of Stockton. I sit on the San Joaquin Valley Air Pollution Control District Board, and we know how important and valuable green space is. So by removing these trees and this grass, we're going to have more cases of upper respiratory problems for the citizens of Stockton. After several of us sounded the alarm, the people showed up. They showed up, they stood up, and they spoke up. We had the Lincoln Unified School District superintendent come because this would have been catastrophic for the district. They are already very overcrowded in their schools. If we were to add potentially 946 homes to this area, they would have nowhere to put those kids. But the public showed up, and I couldn't be prouder of them. And that's what slowed this process from actually happening. My last warning to the public is that this isn't over, and that with the change on council, you could see this right back on the agenda, and Swenson could be sold. I have great faith in the public. They know who was there from the beginning and who wasn't. They also know who was disingenuous and who was honest and truthful. Elections are coming up. You need to show up and vote. If we want our elected representatives to vote the right way and make decisions that best serve the people of this city, we need to make sure that we elect those representatives that hold those things dear. My name's Swenson Fugazi, and I'm running for Stockton City Council, District 5.